But we know that lobotomy is a criminal, foolish, yet delicate procedure that requires both skill and special tools. And only in Russia is lobotomy performed with such a blunt instrument as Solovyov. But the problem is not even that. It's that not always lobotomy through the anus is the right idea. The fact is, the path turns out to be thorny and long. Even worse is that the TV doctor doesn't always know the way, and the route keeps changing. The media that just yesterday were praising Trump, hymns, probably. Today we'll have to lobotomize the viewer in a completely different way. They will have to sharply reverse, so the media got lost in the rectum. And the Kremlin is sending out constantly changing instructions throughout the hour. The latest instructions were panic. The fact is, Trump is the Almighty. Putin ordered to wash and shave the buttocks. As the spanking, this time will not be private but public. The Russian dictator has been given a few days to prepare his rear for the execution. Donald, as is known, is in a rage. In a rage because Putin is blatantly shirking and sabotaging the cessation of the war. That is, the Kremlin bug continues to feed off the war, even though he was ordered to pull out his proboscis from the bite and fold his legs. And he clearly has no intention of doing so. On the contrary, Putin has tripled the strikes on hotels, hospitals, residential areas, and energy infrastructure. Trump finally realized that the Moscow guy most likely considers him a rookie, a brain that can be fooled endlessly. Trump became suspicious, Trump got angry, and a stern rebuke has already been voiced. Trump promises to sort it out. Putin, as is his habit, has retreated. Under the Kremlin baseboard, he remains silent, knowing that in any case, he will be doomed to dodge, equivocate, and make excuses. And the whole world will once again witness how much the Russian Federation, even in such an intimate matter as the plundering and occupation of neighbors, depends on the United States of America. The very terrible deception of the century will become noticeable about Russia rising from its knees, because it is impossible, despite all desires, not to notice that no rising from the knees has actually occurred. Great Russia remains in the same position and still sadly sucks the star-spangled member. Yes, but now, of course, it does so not with the puppy-like enthusiasm of the 90s, but with a completely sour face. And the media are indeed in a terrible situation, and they do not understand how to quickly adapt in a situation where even the Kremlin itself is not quite sure whether Trump is good or bad.